Hello and welcome to Maxim Foods Inside Track. I hope you're all keeping well. A lot going on in the country. We've got the Matildas and the Women's World Cup starting tomorrow night down in Sydney, and the first game next week, Australia versus Nigeria, just at Suncorp Stadium behind us. So up the Matildas, I hope they go well. It's a big event hosting the World Cup for the first time. Let's have a look at what's happening in the dairy industry. Let's start with whole milk powder. So not a lot of action last night on the auction. We saw some heavy demand at the front end of the contracts there, so which really is suggesting that people are still buying hand to mouth and buying what they need month to month. So production tailing off at the end of the New Zealand season is still quite good relative to last year, looking to be a good start to the season as well, milk production wise in NZ. So supply won't be an issue. We've got demand spread reasonably well across all the major markets. We've got China obviously still a little quiet, so we're probably seeing a relatively stable and balanced 3 to 6 month outlook. Having a look at skim milk powder, across all the commodities, skim milk powder has been the most bearish in sentiment. There hasn't been a lot of action or a lot of hope for skim milk powder over the last 3 to 4 months. That continues with a reasonably flat outlook. There was some okay demand last night on the auction, which saw a flat result. Things in the US are looking reasonably flat in demand, and the EU much similar. So it's hard to see anything that or any bullish signs that will push the price up of skim over the next 3 to 6 months. So which would say that there's some pretty good value right now in buying and locking out. Having a look at butterfat. So butterfat, we saw an uptick in AMF last night on the auction. That's been quite volatile over the last 3 months. Butter 82% drifted off a little bit. Things have been reasonably steady in butterfat globally in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Demand has been holding up and more so than it has on the powders. In terms of a short to medium term outlook, things seem reasonably flat. No real bullish signs that would see a vast uptick in pricing. Demand holding in there in Australia, some retail demand under a bit of pressure with macroeconomic conditions here, but we should still see some good value in butter, and once again looking to lock out a little further and with current contracts. Having a look at whey powder, so still some good global production of whey has really kept a lid on pricing. Sweet whey powder will see a reasonably flat outlook for the next 3 to 6 months. For proteins or whey proteins, we've seen a bit of an uptick in demand in the EU, so on PC and PI, so some positive signs there. We may have seen the bottom of the market there with things and will demand picking up, which is good to see. Finishing off with cheese, not a lot of positive global signs on cheese, more on the demand side. We've seen softening demand in the EU with retail contracts falling back. In the US, things are reasonably flat there, and Australia and New Zealand, there has been some demand fall off in retail. So in summary, demand easing globally and supply being reasonably robust. So we don't see a lot of bullish signs on cheese in the short term. So in summary, on a global scale, supply still seems good. I guess the mentality of buyers at the moment is that there is stock available, so people are going very much hand to mouth. In saying that, there's some good value across 5-year averages of all the commodities at the moment. So we do see value in locking out further, set and forgetting, and taking the volatility out of things. I hope you have a great fortnight, and we'll see you again soon.